Garrett Wilson is pissed, and he made a lot of comments after the game. And Cimini joined Jake Asman on ESPN 880, and we'll reveal those comments about why there might be a beef between him and Aaron Rodgers. It never ends with the Jets. Let's go.
I'm going to lose my gosh darn bananas. Boy Green Daily starts now. Zoinks!
I made it clear that my intention was to play, and my intention was to play for the New York Jets.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Paul Eston Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. Welcome to Boy Green Daily, a daily New York Jets video show, also available wherever you get your podcast, people. We're 2 days away from Christmas. Get your shopping in if you haven't already. All my stuff is coming in now. I'm just waiting on the shipping gods to make sure they deliver before the Christmas holiday. Well, everybody, thanks for joining us again right off the top rope. We have a lot to get to here on the show, including, like I said, the latest on this Garrett Wilson situation and an apparent beef with Aaron Rodgers. Good Lord have mercy. It just never ends, people. It just absolutely never ends, which always keeps it interesting. Without further ado, let's jump into several clips from Garrett Wilson after the game. Here's one that I think was interesting. Now, anytime you get two teams playing each other, one of the storylines, is there any former coaches or players that are on the other side? That's always sort of interesting. And on the Rams, they got Rob Calabrese, former Jets quarterback coach. You got Mike LaFleur, of course, sure. Connor McDermott, that big old bastard, that former offensive lineman. And Garrett Wilson was asked about Mike LaFleur after the game. Interesting comments.
Sometimes after games, players and former coaches catch up. Did you see LaFleur after the game?
You know what? I didn't, man. I was looking for him. I got to talk to him a little bit after or before the game. Love him, man. And I obviously, my rookie year, looking back on it, man, it was a special time, and I might have took it for granted. But I love him, man. And, to see how he's helping out that offense and watching them today and come in with their plan to run the ball and the way they executed, I'm happy for him, man. And just hope it continues to take place throughout the playoffs because I really do appreciate him, and I'm sure we'll get on the phone this week.
Eric, when you said you might have taken your rookie year for granted, what do you mean by that?
Just some of the relationships and stuff like that. I look around and it's not too many familiar faces from that time, and that's kind of how it goes when you don't win games. So just those relationships and the way that we could talk to each other, the way that, certain things about it, man. That's all.
Anytime you're asked about, in this case, a former employee that you work directly with, any compliment you give them almost seems like the insult to the current. So I took this Garrett Wilson speaking. I took my rookie year for granted when I was with Mike LaFleur, and then Mike LaFleur was let go, and then I'm with this caravan of other guys of Nathaniel Hackett and Todd Downing, and he was talking about the way they communicate, and I'm sure about targets and opportunities and blah 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 and things of that nature. That part sounds like an upset Garrett Wilson. That's for sure. That sounds like a very upset Garrett Wilson talking about the Mike LaFleur stuff. Garrett Wilson was also asked a variety of other things, including maybe some beef in terms of the role. Here's this.
Has the season, the results, the production, has that just worn on you?
Yeah, tough season. At the end of the day, I'm someone that prides myself on first off, winning and playing my part to help the team win. So anytime that, we don't win, first of all, and I'm not that involved, it's tough. I'm not going to sit here and say I haven't been involved, but I just think I got more to give. And, at the end of the day, sometimes, winning and since other things correlate, sometimes they don't. But I think that, I could help us, and they know that. So it's just trying to figure out ways, and I know Coach is, and Coach Downing is, and sometimes, like I said, it's just controlling what you can control. That's all. It's just putting good film out there, because at the end of the day, this is my legacy. This is what I do. So when they turn on the film, I just always want to leave a good impression on people that I'm running good routes, that I am finding the open spot in the zone, whatever it may be.
I talked about this in the post game after the game. That I think, I'm not excusing all diva wide receivers, but there's a lot of receivers that get a bad rap. What Garrett Wilson is saying, if we're losing and I'm not involved, it's a difficult pill to swallow, because he believes he's a really good player. Spoiler alert, he is. And then we get into all kinds of other issues. Although the most alarming Garrett Wilson comments after the game was about his role, and maybe if people don't see it, which leads us into the potential beef here with Aaron Rodgers.
You were not involved much until late in the fourth quarter. Why was that?
I don't know, to be honest with you, man. I don't know. I just got to go out and put my best foot forward, and hope that things fall my way. I would love to be involved, love to make an impact on the game, but people see it differently than that's outside of my control. So just try and do what I can do.
If people see it differently, that's out of my control. Who is Garrett Wilson talking about there? I believe I was running good routes. I believe those kind of things were happening. But if other people don't see it that way, that is outside my control. ESPN's Rich Cimini joined Jake Asman on the Jake Asman Show, a.k.a. ESPN New York, a.k.a. ESPN 880. And Rich Cimini speculated that he's talking about Aaron Rodgers and an apparent beef, little mini squabble, call it whatever term I suppose that you want to here, where Garrett thinks he's open. Because after the game, we don't have that clip, but after the game, Aaron Rodgers was asked, hey, Garrett Wilson had like 3 targets, 55 minutes of the game. What gives? He's like, touche. He's just giving footballese of why he couldn't throw it to. And Garrett's like, I'm running good routes, man. I mean, if they can't see it, and he didn't name anybody, but Rich Cimini believed after the game that he was talking about Aaron Rodgers. Here is this clip. Again, we'll put this out after the show, and a direct link to Jake's interview with Rich Cimini. We'll do that after the show. But again, this is Jake Asman Show on ESPN 880, a.k.a. ESPN New York. Here is a good back and forth between Rich Cimini and Jake Asman on this Garrett Wilson situation. It doesn't sound good.
What did you make of the comments from Garrett Wilson after the game? Clearly he's frustrated. I know you talked about on your Flight Deck podcast that there's some people around Garrett who think he might request a trade. I mean, the Jets have his rights for the next 2 years with that 5th-year option. I mean, your thoughts on his frustration and just Garrett's future going forward?
Yeah, Garrett is clearly very frustrated. He showed it again today. He was targeted only 3 times for the first 55 minutes of the game, which I find astounding. He did get a couple at the end, when they were just basically in hurry up. But I find it really, and of course, yes, I did talk to someone who knows him very well, who said he wouldn't be surprised if he asked for a trade. And we asked that pretty directly to Garrett Wilson on Thursday, I believe. And he was very non-committal, sending a lot of mixed signals. I do believe he's just tired of the losing and the direction of the offense. Now, he did have a very interesting comment after the game today. He did say, he thought he was running good routes and, getting open. He goes, I guess some people just see it differently. And I think he means Aaron Rodgers. I truly believe there's something going on there between them. From the moment he had the sideline blow up last week in Jacksonville, which was very early in the third quarter, through the first 3 quarters today, that's 5 quarters. He only had 5 targets over those 5 quarters. And I believe Devontae Adams had about 17, if I'm not mistaken. I'll have it in my story for tomorrow. And I just thought that was a little weird. And I definitely think there's something going on there with him and Rodgers. And I think Garrett, if I had to bet now, I think he'll request a trade. I do not know if the Jets would grant it. That's entirely up to the new regime.
I mean, if I'm a new regime coming in, I'd want to extend Garrett Wilson. I mean, he's going to have like every Jet record through his first 3 years that you could have. Rich, speaking as a fan, it would kill me if the Jets finally hit on a guy in the top 10 at that position and they get rid of him 3 years into his career. Like that would do irreparable damage, I believe, to this fan base if they made that decision to trade him.
Yeah, I mean, they should lock him up long term. It's easy for me to say that. It's not my money, but I mean, what's he going to ask for? He'll be eligible for the first time. I mean, he's had good numbers. You're right. He's a ascending player, a popular player. He's on the verge of his third straight 1,000-yard season. No one has done that since George Sauer, since the mid '60s, which is hard to believe. So he's the guy you want to build around. And I think for the sake of Jet fans, I hope this new regime could come in and sit down with Garrett and talk it out with him. And they have a lot of decisions to make. There's the Devontae Adams decision. There's the Aaron Rodgers decision. Just so much stuff on the table for the new GM and coach.
Again, it's just inexcusable for Garrett Wilson to have, 3 targets through 55 minutes of the game. And I saw Dave Briga earlier. And again, welcome to everybody who's joining us. We've got a couple hundred people in the room. Like the video, hit subscribe, show your support. We'll also open up our contest coming up here in just a second. But before we get to all that, I saw Dave Briga in there said, Garrett Wilson is insert in the league in targets. Let's get an update on that. Let's go ESPN. Let's get the targets for Garrett Wilson. I'm sure he's very high on that list. That would be my guess, is Garrett Wilson is very high on the wide receiver target list, if I had to guess. Let's see. Where are we here on targets? No, I thought that'd be more readily available. Anywho, I know that he's up there. Here it is. Beautiful. Okay, here's targets. Okay. Garrett Wilson is 4th. He has 141 targets this season. That's 4th best in the National Football League. The only people that are above him, Jamar Chase with 146, CeeDee Lamb with 152, and Malik Neighbors with 154. Devontae Adams, for context, is 13th with 121. So 141 targets for Garrett Wilson. The Neighbors number is even more impressive. So he's number 1 in the league with 154. He's only played in 13 games. He has 2 games fewer than everyone else on this list. It's pretty impressive. And Malik Neighbors, number 1. In terms of being force-fed. So he's getting a lot of ops. But even still, there should be no game in which he only has 3 targets. Or else someone else should be dominating if that's the case. If Garrett Wilson isn't getting targets, then Devontae Adams should be going off. Insert guy, pick whatever guy on the team, should be lighting it up and then forcing the defense to go, geez, do we keep double-teaming Garrett or are we going somewhere else? That's what should be happening. If Garrett is getting those few targets, he should be getting it all the time. Easy says, coaching, it sucks. Yeah, the entire coaching staff sucks. Look at the end of the game where, the Jets are down 2 scores. It's 19-9. Are they kicking the field goal to make it a 1-score game? Are they going for the touchdown? Aaron Rodgers looking to the sideline doing hand signals. Hey, who, what, who, ha, who, ha. Hey, we do. All right. Hey, who? And then 2-minute warning, timeouts. What are we doing here? What's the plan? It didn't seem like they knew. Most good NFL teams know exactly what they're going to do. They talk about it on the sideline. Hey, if we get within range and it's 4th down, we're going for a field goal. If we do blee, blah, blue, we're going for the touchdown. We're down 2 scores. Also, Rodgers has a mic in his helmet. Like, shouldn't that be a conversation with Todd Downing, who's having that conversation with Ulbrich, who's relaying that information? So the communication sucks. The coaching staff sucks. Just so many god-awful decisions throughout the contest. Lack of decisiveness was quite clear. By the way, let's make sure we flip the banner, baby. We're only 2 days from Christmas, and we're running out of days in this Boy Green emoji contest and raffle giveaway for every gifted membership here on the channel, which has been happening throughout the first 23 days of December, but also through the last remaining couple of days here, the last week and change, last 8 days, is you get a raffle ticket for every gifted membership or super chat. And again, the super chats have to be at least $2.99. It's $2.99 per raffle ticket, so it makes it fair. So the people that are gifting memberships, you guys are paying the same amount. So $2.99 per raffle ticket. There's no limit on raffle tickets, and you will be entered. We'll have 1 grand prize winner at the end of the month. Like I said, there's going to be a Hall of Famer New York Jets jersey. We're going to have items from my personal vault. Going to have some cool autograph merch that have been stowed away here that I'm going to unlock and feel free to hand out in droves, which will be a lot of fun. And then the person who gifts the most will be awarded our custom emoji from Snowball. As Snowball said yesterday, keep them coming, baby. We have a tie, actually, for first place. Kevin Gilbert has 37 gifted memberships. Number one Austria Jets fan also at 37 gifted memberships. So we'll keep an eye on that puppy, baby, and see who ends up separating themselves from the rest of the pack. Like I said, we got a big tie for second place. With FFL 98, 30 gifted memberships. We've got for Lillian, Big D, 30, Ed Vargas, 30, and then MFC's at 24, baby. Those are all the people that are currently in the race. But anytime, you could join the race. So feel free to do so. A couple of things here. I also saw our boy Alan earlier talking Garrett Wilson. If the Jets decide to trade him, I'm not saying whether I agree or disagree with that, because I disagree. I don't want them to trade him. But if the Jets were to trade Garrett Wilson this offseason, they would get a king's ransom of king's ransoms. Garrett Wilson has 2 more cheap years of team control because the Jets, or whoever is going to take over for the Jets at head coach and GM, is absolutely going to exercise that 5th-year option, which means team control over this 24-year-old for 2025 and 2026. And on top of that, you can play the franchise tag game. So if Jamal Adams got 2 first-round picks plus on his rookie deal, oh boy. I mean, Garrett's going to would get an unbelievable bag, both financially probably from another team eventually, but also the Jets in terms of trade compensation. They would. Now, timeout. I don't want to do flying nothing with any of that BS. I want Garrett Wilson to stay here long term. Hey, now, look at that, baby. Party with Peg and Artie, baby. Gifted a 5-pack of Boy Green Coffee Club memberships, which are 5 raffle tickets to our contest. Oh, baby. That's what I'm talking about, baby. That is what I'm bleeping talking about. Let's put them on the board, of course, for emoji contest as well. So you get both. Get to hit both with that. So thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thanks, Party with Peg and Artie. Appreciate the gifted memberships here on the channel. That's terrific. Absolutely, baby. Here are the 5 new members, by the way, that were just gifted memberships. 1 second. The computer jumped here. We got a Jet fan since birth, Team Curry. Pittsburgh Mike, Nick Russo, and Dylan Terriman, a.k.a. Jet Nation. And you guys also have the link in there from Jared B. that gives you access to our Discord channel. So you get all kinds of perks from having memberships here on the show. Thank you, Party with Peg and Artie. We love it. I'm sure I put that on my list here. Party with Peg and Artie. All right, very nice. Let's put you down for a 5-pack combination, as we just did. Boom. Love it. Yeah, but I would say absolutely not. Absolutely not in terms of the Garrett Wilson trade. Absolutely not. John B. calling out NY Jets FL. Where's that bum to tell us to trade Garrett away? Hey now. Oof. Hey, whoa. I'm going to get into personal name calling here, but, he did bring it up. But yeah, I'm not trading Garrett. Why would I trade Garrett? See, there's NY Jets FL. I will refrain from commenting on trading Sauce Breach for Garrett. There you go. Sorry, fans. NY Jets FL, we do have a lot of holes. Wink, wink. That could accelerate the process. But again, think about it this way. You have Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson's awesome. Garrett Wilson's getting to 1,000 yards receiving this week against the Buffalo Bills. He needs I don't know. Let me pull up the stats. He needs a negligible amount. He needs 13 yards. Okay. He has 90 catches. Unbelievable. For 987 yards, he's got 6 touchdowns. When he gets 1 more touchdown in one of these final 2 games, because that's happening, he'll have as many touchdowns this season as his first 2 seasons combined. He's 13 yards away from 1,000 yards. He's 5, or let me put it this way. He's 6 catches away from setting a new career high in receptions. And he's, 103, 13, 116. He's 117 yards away from setting a new career high in receiving touchdowns. So he's already set a new career high in touchdowns. He is going to set a new career high in receptions, and he's likely going to set a new career high in receiving yards, which it all comes at a very interesting time because Garrett Wilson could discuss a contract extension this offseason for the first time. Truth for old there, Garrett Wilson. And again, Garrett's awesome, man. He's an easy guy to re-sign. Again, it's not my money. I have to make that clear, of course. But when you get a lottery ticket, you hope it's half as good as Garrett Wilson is, if we're being honest. You hope it's half as good. And now that you've hit it, it's about finding talent, developing talent, and then maintaining talent. The Jets don't want to find the talent, develop the talent, and then ship the talent off to someone else to succeed. Whoa. No, we want that talent. We want Garrett Wilson to be a Jet lifer. We want Garrett Wilson to be a future Ring of Honor member. We don't want him to be Santana Moss. He's doing that with all kinds of other teams. We want him to be doing it with none other than the New York Jets. Garrett Wilson is a very special player. Garrett Wilson is a very special player. There you go. Pittsburgh Mike in here. Thanks, Peg and Artie. Brian Farrell, is Olu done? We still have not heard any update. I have not, at least. Let me do one quick Olu Fashion News search to see if there's been any new information. But I imagine we'll be getting it this morning. Jeff Ulbrich normally speaks on the morning. The good news is we know it's not an Achilles, so shout out to Rich Cimini. He mentioned that both on social media and also on the Jake Asman show on ESPN 880. So we know it's not an Achilles anymore. Thank God, which is great. Because sometimes you hear that it's a foot and it's actually an Achilles. It is no Achilles. It is specifically a foot. So still fingers crossed. That's the good news, Brian. That is absolutely the good news. Because, like I said, an Achilles is absolutely terrible. My gut would say he's done for this year, but who knows? Again, he was carted off. It looked bad, but you never know. Pittsburgh Mike, a new member to the Boy Green Coffee Club. Cooler heads will prevail. Just need to make it to February, March. I don't see them blowing this thing up. Way too much talent. Yeah, I don't either. And plus, it's a new regime coming in. They'll have an opportunity to speak with Garrett and tell them and sell them on the vision, who the quarterback's going to be. Is it Rodgers? Is it some other name? They'll have their opportunity to sell that to him. So I would not blow it up. There's too much talent. A readjustment, perhaps. Alan says, all I know is the Aaron Rodgers era should end in 2 weeks. There's a big chance that it does. Phil, if we get rid of Garrett, then who do we replace him with unless we get one of the top 3 receivers in the draft? They currently pick 8th. Let me double-check the tankathon here. Let me take a gander. Okay, so the Jets currently are picking 8th. They're just ever so slightly behind Carolina. Strength of schedule is incredibly tight, so they could be picking 7 if nothing else changes. Let me take a quick peek at their mock draft. So Travis Hunter is a corner wide receiver, so technically he could be wide receiver, but I would imagine he's playing corner at the next level. You got the Arizona kid, McMillan. He's one of the top receivers in the draft. Who's the next receiver after that? According to the mock draft, we have a Luther Burden III. He's a Missouri kid. Scrolling down to see even more. Emeka Egbuka, that Ohio State kid, but he's not going till late first in this mock draft from Tankathon. So, yeah, I mean, it depends. Like I said, if you consider Travis Hunter wide receiver 1 and then that McMillan kid, the Arizona kid, as wide receiver 2, then I guess no, the Jets would not end up with a top 2 wide receiver in this draft based on this random mock draft here in December. But obviously a lot can change. But that's what I would imagine the Jets would probably do. But again, why? You know what Garrett is. Garrett's awesome. Of course, you're going to have to pay that iron price. Like, Garrett's not going to be on a rookie contract for much longer because you're going to pay him. But you know what Garrett is. He's awesome. Do we want to take another dart throw at wide receiver and hope they're good? Sometimes wide receivers work out in the draft, and sometimes they don't. Garrett Wilson, as Phil says here, should be signed as soon as possible, ASAP. Put him on the dotted line. I keep saying this, and I'll keep saying it till I'm blue in the face. The easiest decision a new general manager can make, taking over this shish kebab, is saying, hey, Jet fans, Garrett Wilson ain't going nowhere. And Jet fans go, woo, crazy, yeah, Garrett Wilson, baby. It's an easy softball for the next regime. The key. No way trading the stars. Rodgers will be here maybe 1 more year, plus new regime with the check Woody. Write the check Woody for Garrett. Yeah, if Aaron is here any longer, I think it'd be one more year. That'd be my guess. But there's a real chance it's over here in 2 weeks. It's very possible. Very possible. Let's keep going on the comment section. We'll also open up the phone lines here in a little bit. Wow, everyone's willing to trade everybody. Let's go to this. Jose Trinidad. I trade Quinnen. We've never had a winning season with him. Good player, but we have other needs. Could get us a first or second rounder. And plus, Quinnen's contract. First off, I'm not for trading Quinnen because Quinnen's awesome. But Quinnen Williams' contract, we just paid this man. Why get rid of one of our best players? Sure, we haven't won with him. We haven't won with anybody over 14 years. Let me pull up Quinnen's here. Yeah, if the Jets traded Quinnen Williams this offseason, it looks like they'd eat $21 million in dead cap. I don't love that at all. Absolutely not. Now, there is a out in a couple years in 2027, apparently, where the dead cap is almost non-existent. So if you traded him in a couple years, but trading him next year, I don't see it. And I'm not just trying to trade anything it's not like I've broken into a house and I'm stealing all the copper pipes to try to sell anything I can. I don't think that's what this Jets team is. I think there's plenty of talent which should lure a new head coach or GM can to go, ooh, I want that. Now, I want that to trade everything, but I want that because there's a nice foundation of talent. That's how I would put it, personally. That's what I would say on that. Allen says, without a young, viable quarterback in the pipeline, fourth-year guys like Garrett, Sauce, Brees might not want to stay through another regime. That might be true. But if that's the bar, right? If that's the bar of, no young quarterback, look around the league. How many other teams don't have a young quarterback in the pipeline? A lot. A lot of quarterbacks. Quarterbacks are a scarcity. There's plenty of teams that don't have that. So if that's the problem, well, okay. Look around the league, though. I want the Jets to solve the Garrett Wilson thing and all these other things and get quarterback right, but I don't know, man. Yeah, Pittsburgh Mike. I listened to the full Jake Asman interview. One of his comments was Rich Cimini mentioning that Woody wants to move on from Rodgers, and then the potential of Arthur Smith, Kirk Cousins, John Robinson. He said, it makes me want to drink some bleach. Yeah, that was awful. Awful. I'll be tweeting out and writing up some articles on some of the Rich Cimini comments and stuff I like and stuff I don't. Safe to say that stuff new. Thank you. NY Jets FL. Ohio State is wide receiver you, man. Look at the guys they're pumping out. I mean, it's unbelievable. Garrett, Jackson Smith, and Jigba. Marvin Harrison Jr. has been a little questionable in the league so far. I was really high on him. I mean, go through Chris Olave. Those cats are everywhere, man. Michael Thomas was really good, too. Jared B., if we could land Hunter, that'd be my dream lick. Well, your dream lick might be in trouble here, Jared, because Travis Hunter is going at the top of the draft. And the problem is that New England just moved up. They have the number 2 overall pick. They're getting old Travis Hunter, man. They're not going to look twice. They got their quarterback. Ugh, that'd be a damn shame if they ended up with Travis Hunter. He's a really good player. EZ with the super chat. Every time we get a super chat, we hear from my daughter, Zariah Luna. Wow. EZ. And Achilles is bad. Patella tendon is worse. Again, we don't know. We're all speculating at this point what the injury could be. But as soon as we know an injury update, we'll have a written column up on Heavy. And I'll maybe even do a quick video if we know at some point here in the early morning. I'll do a quick video about it. The key. Travis Hunter's girlfriend got busted. Yeah, that was weird at the Heisman ceremony to ask her to stand up. What was going on there? You know, I'm not trying to judge people, but I guess that's what we do. Jets will probably beat the Dolphins. We'll see. I don't know, man. The Jets haven't beat the Dolphins in a long time, consistently. They should have, could have, would have won that last one, but I don't know, man. They'll probably be eliminated from the playoffs before then, too. Bang Mateo says, make no mistake, Vrabel will be interviewing us, not the other way around. And, hey, there's nothing wrong with that. I'd want him to interview us and make sure we're the right fit. Any good head coach should do that. Vrabel to Ben Johnson to anybody. They should be interviewing us. Bang Mateo. Ignore Garrett Wilson trade demands and trade him for the 2026 draft class. By the way, future draft picks are worth less, according to our draft value chart and also to NFL teams. So again, I'm not advocating to trade Garrett because I don't want to. But if you traded him and got future assets, not for 2025, but the future beyond that, you could get a lot more. That is true. Now, we all say 2026 looks better than 2025, and teams will evaluate that. But, anything can happen in those future drafts too. Alan says there's absolutely no untouchable on this roster. Maybe Olu is the only. I'd have a few. Olu would be on that list for me, and then he's injured, obviously. Let me go through in my head. Ching, 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 ching. Offensive line. You have Garrett on the maybe list. You have Brees. You have Sauce. Who else am I missing? Let's go to pass rush. You got Will McDonald. He's on. Quinnen Williams. Quincy. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I mean, the untouchable list, I guess, would be small. I'd put Garrett on the untouchable because I don't want to move him, but I would understand if others feel that way. NY Jets FL. I said it on Jake's show last night. Cooper Rush is a bridge starter, fringe number 1 in a 2025 free agent. Oh, maybe that's somebody I ignored. There you go. I don't know if fringe number 1. That's an interesting way to put that. I'm not sure. I mean, he performed well. He had 290 or something, 270 something passing yards last night. That was a crazy game, wasn't that? Most of those passing yards came in the first half. He had 250 of his 270 or 250 of his 290 in the first half. Reese, BG, no copper pipes. No copper pipes. Oh, let's hear Danny's plan, a.k.a. our Buffalo Bills fan. Get rid of Rodgers. Okay. Sign Kirk Cousins. Keep Tyrod. Draft quarterback in the first or second. Learn from 2 solid veterans who don't have egos so big that they can't get benched for a rookie when it's time. Interesting. Well, the good news is about Kirk Cousins, that'd be the veteran minimum, so they could Russell Wilson it next year. That'd be the good news, sure. Catching up here. Reese says, if Rodgers is gone and we have a young quarterback, best believe MetLife will be empty next season. Yeah, it would depend. Like I said, is there what's the word I'm looking for? Is there some people excited about whoever the new, is it Mike Vrabel? Other people would be excited about that. If it's some random guy that people don't really know, I don't know. NY Jets FL. College football players have been bad so far, unfortunately. I mean, it makes sense, for the most part, because these second-round games should all be really good because they're bye teams and teams that are coming off wins and stuff. But, yeah, the first round has been a dud so far. But go Irish, baby. Go Notre Dame. Love to see it. Love to see it. Anthony D. Vrabel want Rodgers, Arch Manning. We got all kinds of takes in here. We got all kinds of takes in the chat. Anthony D. So here we go. We're going to listen to a bootleg reporter reporting that Garrett Wilson wants out. Stop it. Well, Rich Cimini, here's what I'll say. I know everyone, goes back and forth on Rich. He's covered the team for 37 years or 37 seasons. It probably ends up being the same amount, I guess. But he took over for the Jets in 86. So he's been covering the Jets a long time. So I respect the history and everything that Rich Cimini brings to the table. The thing that I think we're getting a little crazy with on the Garrett stuff is that Rich talked to someone close to Garrett, and he thinks that Garrett will request a trade. So there's a lot of And then now it's just all up in the air with all this stuff. Now Garrett's clearly frustrated, but I just feel like we're playing this phone game with the Garrett Wilson stuff, which gets in there. Ah, yes, Ant Jets 82. Michael Clemens untouchable, obviously. Yeah, he's on the list. How did I forget my boy Michael Clemens? Alan says Brees is not untouchable. No, I just was talking through in my head the players that would be in the conversation. No, Brees would not be on that, unfortunately. And yes, shout out to the Lions. That fake fumble call was genius. And apparently Ben Johnson told Jared Goff they wanted him to actually fumble the ball. And that's good they didn't because it's an oblong shape. You could throw it out. The thing I'll give a shout out to, I don't know if people remember this from Matt Ryan's Falcons days. He used to do sometimes a halfback sweep. And so his back's to the defense. And he'd throw his hands out like this. okay? And the ball would just be floating midair. So he'd just do, huh! And then the defense would see that his hands are open. They're like, oh my God, that's a halfback sweep. So you'd have running back going right, he's going left, and he would go, what? And he would just, instead of throw it, he would just throw it up in the air and levitate it for a second, and then wrap his hands back around the ball and continue on a play action rollout. That was super creative. I remember that back in the old days with Matt Ryan. That was good. That was good. But yeah, shout out. Ben Johnson is in his bag, baby. Ben Johnson is in his bag. He looks good. All right, why don't we do this? Why don't we open up the phone lines, and we can hear what you guys want to talk about with a little bit of everything. We'll play a quick hip song. Up next, the one and only phone calls starts now.
Boy Green daily, Boy Green daily, Boy Green daily. Talking just football, man. Boy Green daily, Boy Green daily, Boy Green daily. The New York Jets Football Club. Wow. Offense, defense, special teams. Watch the Super Bowl season with Boy Green. Jets. Jets.
Shout out to Hep, baby. We appreciate you. That is now the pinned comment on youtube.com/boygreen25. If you'd like to call into the show and share your takes on a variety of things, feel free to do so. That is youtube.com/boygreen25. We are also streaming live on Facebook or Twitter. If you're watching on there, I appreciate it. I appreciate it if you watch anywhere on the planet and carve out a little time to tune into the program. We appreciate you. God bless. Thank you. But if you'd like to call in, you have to do that exclusively on the YouTube. And while you're there, like the video, hit subscribe. I've been told that we don't have as many likes and subscriptions and all that thing on YouTube. So, guys, make sure you're doing that. That is a free way to contribute. You know, I'd love for everybody to join in on the raffle and stuff below. Feel free to do that and join memberships and everything all of the like. But at a minimum, you guys can all like the video, hit subscribe. That's a free way to contribute to today's festivities. A lot of people want to get on the show. Why wouldn't they, baby? We're 2 days from Christmas. Let's get to them. Up first, we got EZ here on the show. What's up, EZ?
I figured I'd continue my rant from last night.
Oh, please do. Sure.
That was a pretty good rant, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was spicy.
I mean, good God. First team in NFL history to lose a game when they didn't punt.
Yeah, that's impressive. No punt, and we ended up with 9 points.
A lot of firsts for the Jets this year.
Yeah, mostly.
I gotta laugh. We have to laugh because the alternative is crying and drowning in our sorrows.
Sure.
And I want to live. Unfortunately, fortunately, I want to live.
Oh, I was like, Jesus, we could get you some help, easy.
No. I need help anyway. We all know that. Everybody out there knows that. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm an acquired taste, and I just had my breakfast.
There you go. What'd you have for breakfast?
And did you see the comments? Western Scramble. And
no,
you didn't read my super chat. And
I did.
Here's Zariah. Oh, you did? I must have missed it. Yeah,
you only had one super chat today, right?
Yeah, it was.
I
said Achilles is bad, but
patella tendon is worse.
Joe. That's why Joe Klecko went from defensive end to the inside.
Yeah.
But that's a bad injury.
Yeah. So fingers crossed.
Yeah. Well, I think he just broke a metatarsal in his foot. That's probably that's a broken foot. A broken foot is a broken bone.
Okay.
How
long are you out for that?
This season is 2 more games.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, he'll be back from minicamp. It's just a broken foot. They'll put a cast on it. He'll be fine.
Yeah.
I mean, if Rodgers can make it back in virtually a season with an Achilles.
Sure.
All right. So I think we keep Rodgers for next year, and I'll tell you why.
Please do.
It really does take 2 years to recover from an Achilles.
Okay.
He's starting to look like himself again. He's starting to run a little bit better. His footwork is much better now because he's getting the confidence back. He's taken pretty much a whole season worth of hits, and he hasn't broken. I mean, he's got the injuries like any other quarterback would have, and he's in his 40s. But I mean, he didn't break. And who the hell else are we going to get? unless we can get Cooper Rush or Sam Darnold, really, who's out there?
Well, I would assume Cooper Rush isn't going to be. Well, maybe not. I was about to say I'd assume he's not going to be this hot commodity, but maybe he will be. I don't know.
He's pretty good. I mean, for a backup,
yeah,
he's pretty good.
He's fine for a backup, sure.
Yeah, he's good. But you put him on a staff with good coaching, and coach him up with good players around him. I mean, that pass to CeeDee Lamb last night was great, man.
Oh yeah.
And I got to give a lot of credit to CeeDee Lamb. That man is playing injured. He's not playing hurt. He's playing injured. And that over the shoulder catch, and he was saying that every time the commenters were saying every time he makes a catch, he was thinking, how am I going to fall down to not hurt my shoulder?
Yeah.
So you're doing that. You're doing something, because that's painful.
Which salute to CeeDee Lamb. I'm in a couple of fantasy playoffs, and in that one in particular, I'm now going to the championship game because of CeeDee Lamb. So salute CeeDee Lamb. Thank you for your service. And then as long as the Packers defense doesn't get 20 points tonight, I'm going to beat my old man and go to the fantasy championship in that league too. So fingers crossed.
There you go. There's a lot of fun beating your old man, huh?
That's for sure. I'm a little nervous.
Frustrations?
Yeah, absolutely. 30 years of hell-bent anger I've been telling my therapist about. I could just kind of unload on him now. But the thing I'm worried about is the Saints of Spencer Rattler. He sucks. So he could throw pick sixes left and right, and I could lose, which would be terrible because I should have had the Packers defense, but I messed up something in the waiver process. So it would be very devastating to lose. Hopefully I don't.
Right. There's one thing that the new regime is going to have to say to Garrett Wilson when they come in. Mm-hmm. And it's very, like common sense.
Okay.
Garrett, this is what I'd say. Garrett.
Sure. Yeah.
You are a unique and supreme talent in this league. Aaron Rodgers is not going to be here forever. Mm-hmm. Devontae Adams isn't going to be here forever. You are going to be the greatest show on turf within the next year or two. Mm-hmm. Don't worry about it. We're going to surround you with great players. We're going to have better coaching. Just chill, man. Chill. And every pass that you don't get thrown at is one less time that you don't get your body racked up by a safety. So you're going to get your numbers. 3 years in a row, you got 1,000 yards. The first 2 years with nobody throwing to you.
Sure. Yeah.
Just, chill. You're going to get your cash.
Hope so.
It's not like, if we sign you here, it's not like other teams are going to be looking at your stats and go, oh, well, he didn't get this and he didn't get that. No, we know what you're capable of. You're going to be here. You're going to get your money, and we're going to get you the ball. My other thing is, and I talked about this last night, why the hell is Malachi Corley on the sidelines when number 10 keeps dropping the ball all over the place?
He had the drop in the Jacksonville game, which was massive. He had 2 drops yesterday.
Did 2 or 4. I don't know. It just seems like he drops almost everything.
This season, he's had like 10 drops, but
he's the most drops in the league.
He is. It's brutal. It's just brutal. And the good news is we had progress. Malachi Corley was at least active yesterday, so they had the choice to go to him. They never did, but he was active. He was a choice. The Lazard thing should be over. He's clearly not going to be here next year. Just start playing Malachi Corley, man.
Well, Malachi Corley is the perfect outside receiver in a screen game. He says he's the Yak King.
Yeah.
That's a perfect thing. Let's see what he can do. Mm-hmm. I want to see what the kid can do. We got 2 games left. I'd tell Rodgers, hey, I'm making what's his name?
Who?
10. I don't want to mention his name. Yeah, I don't even want to talk about the lizard man.
We'll just call him number 10. Yeah, I like that.
Number 10.
Yeah.
Number 10, you're riding the pine. We're putting some kids in. We're going to see what they can. I'd even put Irv Charles in just to see what he can do.
Okay.
I mean, it's at the point you want to see what you got.
I think Irv Charles is out for the season. Didn't he blow out his ACL? I'm pretty sure he's done for the year.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, okay, well, and
so I like that you'd be willing to
kickoffs and punts.
Well, I like
stop doing
that. That's true, but I do like that you're willing to wheel out Irv Charles over Allen or over number 10. That you'd put out a blown out ACL Irv Charles over number 10. I respect.
Why is Rodgers even? I know he's his friend, but why does he keep throwing to him? it's a 50-50 shot on a wide open receiver every time. It's not like he's throwing a go ball, where it's contested. He's a 50-50 receiver when he's wide open.
Yeah. I've never heard someone say that before. That's funny. I like that.
That's horrible, though.
Yeah, no, that's god awful. Yeah. The Lazard thing's over. Like, I just can't wait till we move on. That was one of the worst free agent things ever. And we had some early season success. Right. He got the Hail Mary, got some touchdowns. But
my last point is, why does Rodgers keep throwing it to him?
I don't. He's in his circle.
Maybe he's wide open
because
maybe he's wide open because everybody figures he's going to drop it half the time anyway.
See, that's what we do in basketball, right? We don't cover the big guy at the top. Go ahead, take the three, pal. Yeah, that's true.
It's like Lazard. Don't waste your time putting a defender on him because he pretty much covers himself 50% of the time.
God, what a frustration! What a frustrating player. What a frustrating.
I mean, because he's got the potential to be one of the best receivers. What is he? 6'5", 220
Oh yeah, he's a
pounds?
massive dude. Yeah, he's a big ass.
I mean, he's a big dude. He's fast. He can reach up. He's good with the contested catches. He's good in the red zone, but you can't trust him though.
Definitely not. No. So he should ride the pine. They should just move on. It's over.
Yeah, I'd rather have Malachi Corley 50% in coverage than Lazard 50% when he's open.
Sure. Yeah, I agree. I'd rather test out Corley than a guy again who's not going to be here. So I
want to know what the people out there think of think of that. If you agree with me, just tell me you agree with me. If you don't, tell me you don't. But
let it know. Let it be known in the comments.
I just think that's an important thing. Would you rather have Corley out there or Lazard at this point?
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I appreciate the call, Easy. Yeah, Greg Rallo called Lazard the face of the franchise. So apparently he is a pro Lazard guy. Huh? Wink. There you go. He's a pro Lazard guy. All right, let's go back to the phone lines. Got plenty of people. We'll get to all you here on the show. Let's go to BG here on the show. What's up, BG?
Oh, not much. How you doing? Yeah, I agree 100%. You got to get Lazard off the field. And why is Gibson still on the field? This guy is trash.
Man.
I can't believe it.
He stinks.
Like, this coaching staff, I don't know why they're so stuck in their ways. Like, and rookies sit the whole – and now we got Fashion out. Probably, hopefully, he'll be good to go for training camp, mini camp. But
fingers crossed.
5 metatarsals. That just happened to my. Was it 5 metatarsals, or how many metatarsals did he break?
We have no idea. Easy is just speculating. That's what he believes it is. So we have no official word yet. All we know is it is 100% the foot. It's not the Achilles. Rich Cimini was able to confirm that, so God bless America. But we don't know yet, but we should find out. I would imagine this morning Jeff Ulbrich is going to speak here in an hour or two, I believe. I don't have his time slot in front of me, but he's supposed to speak today, so we should get an update.
Yeah, he's a clown himself. Oh, God. Ulbrich. Bricked up. Yeah. How'd that work out?
Not well. Spoiler alert, not well. Coaching had been terrible, and just god awful.
It's something else. It's you got to be a certain kind of person to be a Jets fan. Let me tell you.
And we all are.
I'm not sure how much. Not sure how much flack you guys get from your coworkers and everything, but I never stop hearing it. Every time I walk in, I remember.
Yeah.
How about them Jets?
Yeah.
Even from Giants fans. I'm like, how are you even talking?
I know the Giant fans, the ones that are in my life.
Merry Christmas
to you. Get the number 1 pick. Yeah, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, BG. Safe travels, pal. Appreciate you. Yeah, the Giant fans are currently talking about like, haha, we know how to tank right. We have the number 1 pick. I'm like, you bastards. It's just one thing after another. But appreciate the call, BG. Appreciate the call. All right, let's go to a new caller here. We got Noah here on the show. What's up, Noah?
What's going on, brother? How you doing this morning, man?
Happy I'm
Monday.
Doing great.
For sure, man. Little lost Monday. You know what I mean? Nothing new here. I live in Orlando, so I was able to go to the Jaguars game last week. That was actually a really good time, and they surprised me with a win, so that was dope, man. But
there you go. Yeah.
But yeah, man. I mean, looking at yesterday's game, it's obvious that black cat is still prevalent, man. With Olu going down.
Yeah.
It's just rough, man. It's a comedy show right now, It's a comedy show. But
one thing after another.
one thing after another. And I called in a couple weeks ago.
Oh, yes.
And I kind of just spoke on how I felt about Garrett at the time, and just speaking on, like, whatever it is, we just got to make sure we lock him up.
Yeah.
And I think since that call, it's been trending in the opposite way, at least with his morale, man. It just kills me. It kills me to watch it. Like, this, I saw the explosion on the sideline. You know what I mean? Like, in Jacksonville. I'm like, oh shit, that don't look good, man. So what do you think? Obviously, I think we all want to re-sign him, but what do you think is actually going to happen? Like, what do you think is actually going to take place?
I think obviously Garrett Wilson is frustrated right now, and I can't blame him because he's not getting. While he's gotten a lot of targets in the overall scope of this season, he hasn't been getting targets over this last pocket of time, both this game and then going back to Rich Cimini said something about insert amount of minutes into the previous game against the Jaguars, so that it's just been kind of this Devontae session. He's frustrated right now. There's no question about it. But I think that frustration is going to end because he's going to become the highest paid player in Jets franchise history this offseason. So it's frustrating right now, and it's scary for fans because, like, we saw what happened with the Jamal Adams thing. And, at a time, we all loved Jamal before he, like, shot his way out of town and did all the shit that he did. And I'm sure a lot of Jet fans are scared because, like, they hear Rich Cimini saying, I don't know, I'm talking to people around Garrett. They think he's asking for a trade. Then Garrett's like, fuck everybody. And we're like, oh, Jesus, please, Garrett, don't leave us. And we're getting all freaked out here. To me, I think he's getting the bag. The new GM and head coach are going to come in. They're like, Garrett, you're friggin' awesome, and you're going to get paid like a booyah. Here's life-changing money for you and your family. Because he's nowhere close to a free agent. Again, they have him at minimum for next year. They're going to exercise a fifth-year option, so have him for 2026 too. And then they got 3 franchise tags in their back pocket if we want to get crazy. But I don't think it's going to go that far. I think he's going to get a long-term deal well before that. And even if he was to ask for a trade, I don't want him to, but even if he did, all kinds of receivers have asked for trades over the years, and then they ended up playing for their teams or signing new deals. Deebo Samuel, he requested a trade, said, I don't want to be here, and it caused all kinds of drama. He signed a brand new deal. T. Higgins said, I don't want to play for you guys. I request a trade. He played for the Bengals this year. So it's extra drama, which Jet fans should be used to, I guess, at this point. But, yeah, I think he's signing long-term, and he'll be the richest player in Jets franchise history.
Okay, fair enough. So I like that. That actually made me feel a little bit better that you said that.
Excellent.
So what do you think the course of action is in the draft? Say we draft somewhere, it looks like 6 to 10, somewhere in that range. Like, what do you think we should do?
Yeah, I think we're going to be, unfortunately for the quarterback people, I think we're going to be outside of that. I think Cam and Shadur are going to go very high, top 2, minimum top 3, because New England's up there, so they might just go Travis Hunter. So one of those quarterbacks may fall a little bit further. So I don't think the Jets are going to trade up. So quarterback's out as we currently have it. So put that in a pocket. And then to me, I know everyone hates this. They're like, it's a politically correct answer, but BPA, man, we have a lot of needs. I mean, on the defense, you could go in a number of areas. Ricky, New York loves going corner of Will Johnson. Sure. Mason Graham up front, a front 7 player. Sure. That makes a lot of sense to me. You want to get a wide receiver if you're moving on from Devontae. I hope in a world that if Devontae comes back for cheap, I'm not sure if he will. So there's wide receivers that certainly could make sense. You could get a right tackle. Morgan Moses is 33 and he's been a bag of injuries. You could fill in that last spot on the offensive line. So I think there's a path at right tackle. I think there's a path for a front 7 player. I think there's a path for a corner because DJ Reed's leaving as a free agent. Any of those are all up for grabs, or trade back and get more assets. That's something else that I'm sure the Jets would be interested in.
For sure. I think right now I would be privy to get an edge rusher, get somebody to get to the quarterback. I mean, obviously, like you said, we have a ton of holes. I wouldn't be mad at Will Johnson. I think that dude's a stud. So I wouldn't be mad if we took corner, obviously, with DJ departing. I don't know how high you are on Eccles, but honestly, like, I think it's really hard as a cornerback to be like a plug and play guy. Like, as far as game planning and like mental
right off the bench, cold turkey guy. I know what you're saying.
Being a cold turkey guy. And I think, honestly, like, I've been impressed with Eccles for the last 2 seasons. I'd say he's gotten like those scarce minutes. And we do have, I mean, it was preseason, but JBC wasn't a bad player.
Oh, yeah.
Stiggers, obviously, like, we don't know what we have with Stiggers yet, but I wouldn't be mad if I saw Eccles starting across from Sauce next year.
Yeah,
No,
not at
that's
all. He's a free agent. A lot of people are kind of quiet, like they don't realize that. So DJ's out, but Brandon Eccles a free agent. He'd be a guy before free agency even starts. I'm like, hey, Brandon, you want a nice little 2-3 year deal, which is a massive pay raise of what you've been getting because he's been a rookie. He was a 6th-round pick.
yeah.
I'd kind of pocket that and see, because at worst, he's a great depth piece if you get a future Will Johnson in the draft or something. Or worst case, and I use that in quotes because I don't think it's a worst case. I don't think it's a bad idea. Brandon Eccles is starting, and he's proven that he's had some chutzpah. He makes plays. Why wouldn't you want him starting a corner?
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad. I would actually really, really love for us to re-sign Eccles. So, but yeah, just headed towards the draft, man. I don't know. That's kind of where my attention is. Just priority 1, lock up Garrett, just make him happy. Priority 2, I mean, I would love Aaron to just go, But
you're ready? Okay, pack his bags. See you.
I'm ready, but I guess somebody had mentioned it on the call, and it will help get people in seats. I don't know if that's a good thing. I don't really.
Yeah, right.
I don't see any of these like a Jackson Dart coming in here as a 2nd-round pick and bringing us to the playoffs. I don't see that. You know what I mean? So obviously Rodgers looks like our best option right now, but not going to be too negative. I'm never too I know this team. I've been a fan of this team since LaDainian Tomlinson actually came, so I'm not going to get too upset.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that's kind of what I'm hoping for the rest of these 2 weeks and this offseason.
Well, fingers crossed. Well, Noah, thanks for the call, brother, and looking forward to your next call. Happy holidays, man.
Hey, God bless, man. Happy holidays.
There he is. Noah joining us here on the show. I love it. Again, phone lines are open. It's a pinned comment on youtube.com/boygreen25. You got things to get off your chest, baby. Got a couple hundred people in the room. Make sure you guys like the video, hit subscribe. All the details in the scrolling ticker and also in the YouTube description down below on our contest giveaway. Gift in those memberships, baby. You get a chance at a raffle ticket. Let's keep rolling here. Up next, we got the one and only B-Mac here on the show. What's up, B-Mac?
Hey, what's up, Paul?
Good to see you, pal. Happy holidays.
Thanks, man. Yeah, happy holidays to you, man. Was another one of those games, real games yesterday. No punts, and the Jets still lost and scored 9 points.
Crazy.
Is it the Patriots game that they had they broke another ridiculous record? They scored I think 20 points or something like that. And
yeah, I think it was 24-9 or something, 24-7 or whatever. Or 24-6 maybe. I can't remember what it was, but it was something like that for the Week 3 Jets Patriots game.
No. I'm talking about the.
Oh God, yeah, that one was awful. Yeah, they've been breaking records on a week-to-week basis that are not good. That are not good.
Yeah. It's like they find amazing ways to lose games. You know.
Yeah.
It's
very dramatic.
It's very crazy. As far as the Garrett thing, do you think the media is trying to make Garrett turn on Rodgers? Because you said before this game Garrett is the 4th most in targets.
That's correct.
So
no national
Rodgers, so that means Rodgers is feeding him. You know what I mean? In giving in his, piece of the pie, as far as give him the ball.
Yes.
And I know yesterday was brutal. Him forcing feeding Devontae. I think that was more like that kind of bothered me too. It's I think he was trying to get his 500 touchdown pass to him. You couldn't tell he was force feeding him. And then I can see why Garrett was kind of frustrated. But do you think because you know how this New York media market is?
Of course.
Do you think that they trying to make Garrett turn on Rodgers, and that's why they asked him all these questions?
Well, I would say, Aaron Rodgers had one passing touchdown yesterday. That was 499 to Devontae in the back of the end zone. Beautiful throw. Devontae made a great catch. It was awesome. There was no force feeding there. I was totally cool with that one. That one made sense. He's open throwing the ball. 500 felt like Devontae. And Devontae, again, point noted that Devontae had one and he somehow dropped it when he was bringing it back down to his hip to secure it. That would have been touchdown number 500. But it just felt like Aaron was forcing it. Like Aaron and Devontae both said after the game that like Aaron, and not that Aaron's an idiot, Aaron knew that 500 was in his hand as he was trying to find Devontae. Like he was trying to force Devontae 500. And it's like when people try to force Hollywood scripts at the end of their careers, that they're trying to write it the perfect way. Wouldn't it be, Aaron saying this in his own head, wouldn't it be cool if Devontae Adams, me and him have this special moment, touchdown 500, they put it up on the video board, 500 touchdown, Aaron Rodgers to Devontae Adams. I'm sure they would love to have that moment together. We're playing a football game. We're not playing some fairyland movie script. Like, throw it to the friggin' open guy. And there was open Garrett Wilson in this game where he could have thrown it to him. And I think touchdown 500 could have gotten it more open guys like Garrett. It seemed like he was open on one of those plays. It could have been touchdown 500. But going back to your question, so I think the media is trying to force something here. It does appear that there is some weird, I don't know if I want to use the word beef, because beef might be too aggressive, but there seems to be something going on between Aaron and Garrett right now, where Garrett has been open, and then Garrett Wilson has been open, and Aaron after the game, when we say, oh, wow, Garrett Wilson only had 3 targets through the first 55 minutes of the game. Aaron, what's up with that? He's like, they're running 2 shells, so like, we couldn't get it to him, so sorry. But we're finding every way in the book to get the ball to Devontae Adams. Like, can't we move Garrett around or do whatever it takes to make him run the way that you want? Because Garrett, after the game, said he was running good routes. He thought he was open, but, hey, I can't throw the ball to myself, basically. He didn't say it that directly. I'm just paraphrasing, but he can. So, there seems to be something there. I don't know if the media is creating it because it looks like there's some of those tentacles out there. I don't want Garrett to be upset. I want Garrett to get his rock. Garrett needed like 60 yards in this game from the beginning to get to 1,000 yards. Come on. We couldn't have gotten Garrett to 1,000 yards. Now he needs like 13 more to get it. He's going to get it one of these final 2 games, but I think there's a way to be breaking all kinds of these records of giving Garrett the ball and winning. We can make all those happen at the same time. It doesn't have to be going out of your way to do some of these things.
Yeah. And I think I'm scared that like the more this goes on, the more Garrett, like I think when Rich Cimini said that Garrett requested a trade, I don't think that's false. I think that's true because when there's smoke, there is fire.
Yeah, let me just say, Rich Cimini said he talked to someone close to Garrett, and that person believes that Garrett will request a trade. So it's a lot of speculation. There's nothing official yet. There's no officially requested trade. Again, there's no trades that could happen right now anyway, so that would be more so an off-season thing, I guess. But, they believe that. So it's all speculation right now. There's nothing official.
Yeah, but I do think, like they said, where there's smoke, there is a little bit of fire. And I just won't be surprised that if Garrett Wilson, at the heat of the moment said, get me up out of here. Because he does seems like he's a very fiery, passion.
Which I love it. I love the passion. Yeah,
passionate guy. So, and then the other thing that I know before this game you was pro bring Rodgers back.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think after this game, and then do you think these next 2 games are the last 2 that we see him in a Jets uniform? And does yesterday's game change your opinion on bringing him back?
I would be naive to say that there isn't at least a chance that these final 2 games are the final 2 games of whether Rodgers' NFL career or his Jets tenure. That's possible. It's not 100% he's coming back. It's not 100% he's leaving, as far as I know. But to answer your question specifically, Rodgers played well yesterday. Relatively, again, he didn't get into the end zone. They had too many field goal attempts versus touchdowns. So from that part, Aaron could have played better. Aaron missed a couple of explosives. There was a couple open guys that he just missed. But for on the surface, Aaron played. He played okay. He played fine. He didn't play bad, at least in my opinion. I don't think he played bad. So, no, yesterday did not change it where I'm like, screw Aaron. I don't want that bastard. But the only part that it affected me a little is with Garrett not getting the ball as much and me seeing it as this weird love fest between Devontae and Aaron where they're having their own kind of personal thing and the Jet fans and everyone are just kind of there where we bought a ticket to watch some weird concert where Aaron and Devontae Adams look into each other's eyes. It got a little weird. I'm going to be honest. It was a little uncomfortable.
Do you think part of the reason that the Jets were out of playoff contention and Rodgers and Devontae was like, let's just make a history? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know if they put it into words and said like, "Hey, man, let's wins don't matter anymore because we're not making the playoffs." But it might just be a subconscious thing of like, "Hey, let's try to make some great memories together because when we're two grandpas on a rocking chair, we can tell our grandkids about this. That'll be pretty cool." So maybe it's a subconscious thing. I don't think they went into a back room and went, "We're going to throw it to you and fuck everybody else." I don't think that happened, but.
Yeah, because that really bothered me. It's like, like going to Garrett Wilson and have him be the one to get your 500 touchdown back.
Yeah, like that's. I don't like that it's for, again, if Devontae was wide open and that happened, so be it. That's cool, and it's a cool story. But I don't think we had to force it to make that the story and make that happen. That's the part where I get a little lost. So, yeah, Aaron Rodgers was 28 of 42, 256 yards. He had a touchdown. He was only sacked once. That sack was unfortunately terrible. There was the strip sack. And Aaron obviously was robbed of a final drive because Xavier Gibson can't hold on to a punt, or else Aaron would have had a final drive, which, by the way, I would assume would have gotten him over the 300 yards passing for the second time this season and the second time in 3 years. So that part of it was unfortunate, but that was a Xavier Gibson fumble situation.
Yeah, and then the one thing too, with this Kirk Cousins thing, and this is pissed me off. With Cimini, and I know someone in chat said get Will Rodgers and get Kirk Cousins.
Yes.
If you're gonna get Kirk Cousins, you might as well just keep Rodgers. Like, what's the difference? Like
better. Well, Aaron's better than I think Aaron's better than Kirk, and then you have Jake Asman in here. Which, by the way, that comment you just mentioned was with Jake Asman, the Jake Asman Show, ESPN 880. That was Rich floating the Kirk Cousins possibility out as an option. He would have the veteran minimum. That'd be the attractive thing next season. But the other non-attractive thing is Kirk Cousins did not look great. He had over like a 5-game span. He had 1 touchdown, 9 picks. No friggin' thank you. So I'm not.
Yeah, I just don't. Yeah, but I just don't think it makes sense. You know what I mean? Because if you're gonna get a veteran that's coming off an Achilles, you might as well just stick with Rodgers. And again, Rodgers, he's not perfect this year. You know what I mean? He has his faults too, but he's better than Kirk Cousins. Like, you got to admit, like,
no doubt about it. Aaron Rodgers has a 3 touchdown interception ratio. Does he have like 24 touchdowns, 8 picks? Like, he's been great. Kirk Cousins, not so much.
Yeah, and Kirk Cousins, before he got benched, had 18 touchdowns and 16 picks, something like that.
Disgusting. Yeah.
So I think and if Rodgers stays, I think Rodgers, because Jake talked about this, if Rodgers stays, he would have to take a pay cut. I don't think Rodgers has a problem taking a pay cut and lowering his
cap. He said it. Yeah, he said it. He would not. He'd be open to it.
You know what I mean? And he may do that. I just don't think, because at this point, he doesn't really need the money. If he's going to come back and play,
be for the love of the game.
It's to win. It's to win and get that Super Bowl. Yeah, and all that stuff. Because the man is a multi-millionaire. You know what I mean? He can. You know what I mean? So I don't think he needs it. But that's all I want to say.
Appreciate it, B-Man. Thanks for the call, pal. Appreciate it. We got a lot of other people to get to. Let's keep it rolling, baby. All right, who's next here on the show? We've got, our boy Michael Jordan. Let's go, MJ, here on the show. What's up, MJ?
Hey, I like that. Call me Michael.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, be like Mike.
So, but before I get into what I was going to talk about, I think it would be awful if, because of the issue with Rodgers and Garrett Wilson, because in the past, man, there's been some heated exchanges between them. I mean,
there has. Yes.
I forget where I saw, but yeah, it's like, and if he leaves because of Rodgers, I mean, a great player that he is, oh my God. And
because like Aaron's going to be here maybe one more year, maybe. Maybe you're like, oh, he comes back in 2025. Okay, I can see it. Maybe he's 1 year more year. Garrett could be here for the next 10, 15 years. Like, good Lord. If it's like both are hanging off the edge of a cliff and I have one to save, sorry, Aaron, I'm saving Garrett.
I know, man. And that just sounds Jets, though, because, when shitty things happen, they say, oh, yeah, that's a Jets thing. I mean, that sucks that it's kind of has that kind of correlation or connotation, when shitty things happen. It's like like a Jets thing to happen. But anyway, the reason I call this yesterday was a whirlwind day from a Cowboy. I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan
Yes.
living in Dallas, and
Mhm.
of course here locally they've got. Of course, they had the Jets game on, which was interesting. I was kind of watching that, and then, of
All
course, I was paying really attention to Washington and Philly
Of
because
course. Right.
if Washington wins, the Cowboys are immediately eliminated, along with other teams,
Yep.
that are vying for the last wild card. And I'm watching the game, and and then the Phillies up 21-7, and I'm thinking, oh man, this is great. Then their quarterback goes out, which I'm like, oh shit, of
Yeah,
all
right.
games to take
course.
him out, but then you think they've got their defense. Why Philly's known for their defense,
Of
right? And
course.
then
Yeah.
I see a Philly defense that looked like the Miami defense of last year with their defensive coordinator.
Yeah,
Moving
Vic
from
Fangio.
Miami to Philly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But then I'm watching the Jets game, and I see that they go right down to score touchdown, and I flip it back, and then I turn back, and I'm like 6. They didn't get the extra point.
I know.
It's like, and then I see that, and then I'm looking at the score. It's 9-9, and I'm just flipping back and forth, and
Sure.
I'm looking at the ticker, and then I'm like, what the, the Jets scores 9 points the entire freaking game.
Yeah.
And they had that the first half or the first 3 quarters. I'm like, what is going on, man? I mean, it's, and then I see, and then the play that, Rodgers fumbles, when he gets tackled. And I mean, and then I heard you say about this thing about looking into Devontae Adams' eyes.
It just feels weird. It is incredibly uncomfortable. I'm like looking around like, is anyone? It's like, again, I brought up the analogy yesterday. It's like you're at a party, there's a bunch of people over, and all of a sudden you look over at the couch and 2 people are aggressively making out. You're like, whoa, get a room, man. What is it? Is everyone else seeing this? This is weird. And they have like no care that there's a bunch of people in the room. That's what it feels like currently the Jets offense is. It is Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams, and this weird, a fixed story of making out while everyone else is like, hey, we got like an offense to run here, people. It's just, like I said, it's a little strange. When it's working, it's great. Again, I have no problem if Aaron's throwing it to wide open Devontae Adams and we're making plays, which again, he had 198 receiving yards last week. But when he's doing it like in spite of the offense and saying, he hikes the ball, goes, Devontae, no one's open. Devontae? And then like looks back, I'm like, Jesus, come on, man. Let's go to other guys.
And the thing is I was watching the end of the Philly game, and they have a play where they basically, if they get the first down, they still have a lead. They have a 5-point lead, and of all people, Devontae Smith drops a catch, and I think he wanted to do more with it. He was trying to score for whatever reason, and he drops the pass on 4th down.
Brutal.
And then Washington goes back, and they score. They kick a field goal, get it down under 2, and then just the way that the Eagles lost, and then basically that loss completely eliminates the Cowboys from the playoffs. But then the thing is that the Cowboys, they have nothing to play for, and they play a really good Tampa Bay team. I mean, Tampa just destroyed the Chargers, who are a really good team.
Yep.
And the way the Cowboys played, and the way their defense, and
Salute.
for them to come back and
those crazy
win,
plays from your secondary yesterday. I mean, what an awesome game. That was terrific.
Oh my God. And so now it goes to, and this whole thing comes up about if McCarthy gets let go, which some people are saying, and I was conflicted because as a Cowboys fan, I'm like, my God, if they win this game, this might guarantee 3 more years of this idiot, this guy who basically for the first frickin' 12 games doesn't realize that Rico Dowdle is his best running back option, and he's splitting time with a washed, Ezekiel Elliott, who was like, been washed for 2 years and fumbles and does all this crappy shit and doesn't, run the football when half of these successful teams, or almost all successful teams, are running the fucking football.
Yep.
The 49ers, when they were successful, they're running the football. Detroit, people don't realize Detroit has a great running team. They have a great offensive line. And it all this stuff that is the most obvious to anyone who has freaking common sense with McCarthy. And now they start to finally play better. now that they lost their quarterback, Dak Prescott, and they're on their backup. So my thought is that if he's let go, does this change your probably doesn't change your opinion of bringing McCarthy to the Jets, does it? Or what is your
my gut actually is that I think McCarthy's staying with how the Cowboys have responded. And by the way, I guess you never know what Jerry Jones's comments, but when you see Jerry Jones's public comments, when you see how the team has fought for Mike McCarthy, again, I'm sure Cowboys fans would have wished they would have shown that same fight when they were still alive in the playoffs earlier in the season, but that's neither here nor there. But no, I think my gut right now, at first I thought Mike McCarthy was a dead man walking. I'm like, it's the most obvious thing in the world. They're going somewhere else. But as the season has progressed, I've flipped the other way. I don't think Mike McCarthy's going anywhere. That's my gut.
But does he deserve it though? Because I mean, they played great in a meaningless game, and I mean, but I think it's more the defense because see their offense, their offense played great, but the second half they were shut down. I mean, the running back had Rico Dowdle had a really bad game. He averaged less than 2 yards a carry.
It was terrible. Cimini got hurt too, so obviously he was like basically taken out. Unfortunately, in the second half, which bummed out the Cowboys. And they're playing with their backup, so take that for what it was. And then I heard Chris Collinsworth kind of pitch. Where he's like, hey, let's talk about it here. The Cowboys have had three 12-win seasons out of 4 years, and obviously we're not counting this year yet of whatever is going to happen. So you have that for Mike McCarthy, and you say, would you fire that guy? Absolutely not. So, but there's expectations different in Dallas and in other places too. And then the lack of playoff success, I'm sure that's a factor as well to all of it beyond just regular season stuff, which has been awesome. Because the most wins the Jets have ever had in a single season is 12. They did it one time in their history. That was 1998. The Cowboys have done that 3 of the last 4 years. We're like, whoa, yeah, that sounds pretty good to us. But again, all kinds of different strokes.
I just wonder though if McCarthy was able to team up with Rodgers, because I mean, you have to admit that I know the ending wasn't good, but man, they really had some good years together. And for like you said, I mean, I can't believe it's been that long for the Jets to even make the playoffs. But I mean, McCarthy has proven that, and see, people here are saying that from Monday to Saturday, he really is a great coach. It's his stuff on Sunday. It's his play calling. It's his time management that sucks, that loses games, that some of the bullshit that he does during the game, but the preparation is really, really good in the foundation. And I kind of wonder that, not to say that I would want him to be the coach, but if Rodgers is here and the way that Rodgers ingratiates to people that he's played with, I kind of wonder, I hate to say this to Jets fans, but I don't know. I mean, does it change your opinion if he was made available? Because now they could lose to Philly. If they lose to Philly, now this is the thing though, is that I want them, see, Washington has a tough game. They got to play Atlanta. They have to play the Falcons. I believe, I'm not sure if it's at home.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it a Washington or in Atlanta?
I'm not sure.
I think it's in Washington. So that's a tough game. Atlanta has to now see, people don't realize now with this loss to Tampa, see, and since the wild card already has 10 wins, both teams are 8-7. So the best they're going to get is 10-7. So they basically, they might not even be from the South. I think only the winner, the wild card's not, I don't think is going to make the playoffs because the Commanders have the highest record now.
Yeah, right. They have a 10-win season, so I imagine their only path is winning the division. Thanks for the call, MJ, and shout out to Hansen here. We got a Boy Green Coffee Club membership, baby. Beautiful. Let's ring it in. Steve B. Welcome to the Boy Green Coffee Club at Hansen. That's another ticket for you in our contest. That's 3 gifted memberships so far this month. I'm sure all you Jet fans appreciated all that Dallas Cowboys conversation there, huh? Cowboys Daily? Big boy blue daily? It could have been. All right, let's head back to the phone lines. We've got Neil here on the phone. Neil, good morning.
Oh, wait. Boop, beep, boop, beep, boop. All right, let me go back to my New York Jets channel. I was just on a Dallas channel for the last 15 minutes. Wait, let me go back to the Jets. Oh, here we are. Because Let me ask you, I know on YouTube there's a ton of Dallas channels that this guy and Paul Sr. could go listen to. They could go smooch together. You and your dad. Now, did your dad go get you his washer and dryer yet? Did you send
he did not.
Santa?
He did not.
I'm going to tell you something. He better get you that washer and dryer, Paul.
Okay. Man, maybe it's coming for Christmas. Maybe
it better. I'm going to tell you. Next time he's on, if you don't mind, I'm going to give him the old ripcord.
Oh, feel free. Yeah.
Is that all right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I think he joined us on.
Get that
let's
for
see.
Christmas.
Let me see. Actually, I have it here on my schedule. Let me take a quick peek. Oh yeah, he joins me. The next day he joins me is Christmas. That'd be a funny day to do it, I guess. But he joins me. Let's see. He's going to be on Christmas, the day after Christmas, that Thursday, and he's going to be on Saturday. So he's here for 3 days this week: 25th, 26th, 28th.
He's not going to like me too much if I bust his chops on Christmas Day.
Oh.
Well, if look at my.
Look at that! Oh, very nice, very festive. You're in the mood. I love that.
Look, I put my Santa suit on tomorrow night.
Nice.
Very excited. We have the big 7-fish dinner, and my wife's cooking Christmas Day dinner as well.
Ooh,
so
nice.
The food will be flowing here like you can't believe.
Beautiful.
And it's going to be an amazing time. My son goes on top. I dress in the Santa suit for the grandkids, right?
Yeah, right.
I run out the garage with this big satchel, and I got a beautiful suit. Nobody, my 9-year-old grandson does not recognize me.
I love that.
He did look a little curious at me last year because he smells the cigar on me. So he's thinking, boy, Santa smokes cigars just like Papa Neil does. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
So it's a lot of fun. But Easy made a lot of good points. Easy's been around the block a few times.
Sure.
And he made a couple of good points. But I want to just say one thing. And Boy Green mentioned this. I'm not Buffalo Jet fan, who I really like. And, he gives a real sarcastic turn to the he's got a dry wit. You know what I mean?
Very much so. He's a funny guy. I like that.
He's got that dry wit, and he just smacks things around into reality.
Mm-hmm.
But he made a point yesterday that I want to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, let me ask you a question. What player on our defense is better than it was last year? Is there a single player? I mean, you could say Jamie and Sherwood, but Sherwood is only.
Yeah, I guess that's true. But I don't know if that one really counts because he didn't play. But it's a good point because everyone's regressed. Sauce is obviously down. Quincy's down.
On the defense.
Quinn's
Quincy,
down.
Where's this?
Yeah, we haven't seen that a lot.
Twice. He did it once on a fumble that he could have picked up and scored on, but
true.
He
The
wanted
Cardinals
to do
game
instead.
Yeah.
And other than that, he's been invisible, Paul.
Yeah,
he's been
that's
invisible.
True.
He's been horrible.
Yeah.
Okay, on that tight end touchdown yesterday, he's 7 yards away from a slow tight end that just came off of 5 surgeries.
Yeah,
okay,
brutal.
And he's supposed to be the fastest linebacker. A big regression on the defense, and that's not talked about enough. I really, it's disappointing that really nobody. Not only has every guy on the defense regressed, but there's nobody that really we could say, ooh, here, every year for the last few years, we've had a star.
Yes.
I mean, Olu.
Oh, Will. I guess I'll give Will with 10 sacks this year. He's the guy that's much better than last year. But again, you'd probably make the same pitch. Well, Paul, he's playing a lot more. Okay. Jamian. Oh, well, he's playing a lot more. So Jamian and Will are probably the two people you think of, but they're just playing dramatically more. So maybe they would have been able to do that last year if they were playing that much. But those would be, I guess, the two I'd say. Everyone else has regressed. Michael Carter II's been hurt all year. DJ Reed has been toasted. Sauce. We have the rotating safeties. CJ Mosley got hurt. I mean, literally everybody.
I'll tell you, Adams has played like trash. Adams can't tackle. He can't cover.
Yeah,
he just looks horrible. Yeah. I mean, everybody is, played significantly worse than they did last year. So they better get their shit together.
Sure.
As far as Rodgers on the offensive side, everybody's talking about this Garrett Wilson. First of all, you said Garrett Wilson has what, the 4th most targets
in the league, in the National Football League. That is correct.
And you know what? Garrett Wilson's not a diva. Okay, the media could turn him into a diva. Rich Cimini, as far as I'm concerned, is a major hack. Okay, I take nothing that guy says with a grain of salt. This big.
All right.
Okay, so I don't give a shit about Rich Cimini. I don't care about his takes and what he heard behind the scenes. If I hear it come out of Garrett Wilson's mouth, it's a different story. And let me tell you reality-wise.
Yes.
Garrett Wilson is not requesting a trade, okay?
Okay, thank God.
He's learning from – look, what everybody has to realize is Davante Adams may be a Hall of Fame wide receiver. Possible? What do you think?
Probably. Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's got 100-plus touchdowns. He's in an elite club. I'm pretty sure everyone else on that list I could double-check that. Let me check that right now. Let's see, the all-time – because he's on the list. I guess the only one who isn't, he's active, is Mike Evans, but he's going to go into the Hall of Fame. So let's go. Everyone in the 100-plus receiving touchdown club: Jerry Rice, Hall of Famer; Randy Moss, Hall of Famer; T.O., Hall of Famer; Chris Carter, Hall of Famer; Marvin Harrison Sr., Hall of Famer; Larry Fitzgerald, not yet, but he's not eligible yet, so he will be in the Hall of Fame. Antonio Gates, I think he's going to the Hall of Fame this year. Tony Gonzalez, Hall of Famer. And then you have Mike Evans and Davante Adams. So, yeah, everyone on this list is either a Hall of Famer or is about to be. So, yes, yeah, he's a Hall of Famer.
So let me just make a comment on yesterday, okay?
Sure, okay.
Conklin got the ball a lot. See, here's what we're not seeing, and I want to see the film of yesterday.
Okay.
There were games that Garrett did not get the ball where he was clearly wide open.
Yes.
Okay, this game, okay, if you notice, the second he had only 8 yards of yak yesterday. Okay, Davante had 38 yards of yak, and that's because the Rams probably bracketed him, and every time he got the ball, Paul, he got hit by 3 guys. Every guy was around him when he got the ball. So I don't want, and if you want to say Aaron Rodgers just had a love fest with Davante yesterday, hey, Conklin had 6 receptions for 58 yards. He got into the game. Brees had some receptions. Okay, he threw the ball at Lazard. A quarterback and an offensive play caller are going to focus on receivers that are single covered. They're not going to focus their attention on guys that are double covered. That's why Bill Belichick takes wide receivers out of the game. Now, if we're playing a team that takes a receiver out of the game, one game they took, I think when Davante first came here, he didn't get much because the focus was on him.
Yeah,
and
Pittsburgh.
Garrett had a couple of big games. Mm-hmm. So, now the focus is on Garrett. You got to pick your poison. When you have 2 very good receivers, you got to pick your poison. So the Rams decided that they were going to take Garrett Wilson out of the game. And the bottom line is he did not have the same type of opportunities. Okay, so we got to look at the tape and see what some of the guys that really look and examine the plays that happen on how many plays he was wide open going like this. And it would be one thing if he was going like this and Aaron Rodgers is throwing the ball to double coverage to Adams, but that did not happen yesterday. So I just think we're being overly critical. Okay, we can't take everything we got to take everything at face value. I think this is a great kid. He's going to come back. He's going to get his money.
Yeah,
and he'll be fine. And if I'm him, I want to play with another year with Aaron Rodgers. And you can't say that because think about it. If Aaron Rodgers leaves and Davante's gone,
yeah,
Garrett Wilson is not going to do shit because he's going to be triple covered because there's no other wide receiver anybody cares about.
Hey, that's what happened earlier in the year. People forget. Garrett Wilson struggled early in the year because he was facing number 1 corners and the attention of defenses, and he wasn't putting up numbers like, oh boy, maybe we over predicted or over whatever what Garrett Wilson was going to do. Davante shows up, there's someone else opposite, and Garrett started having some action. So yeah, there's something to be said for that.
And one other thing BJF made a point on, which I totally agree with. Our tight end blocking is atrocious. He made a point. There was a play that went outside right for Brees. Okay. So BJF concentrated on that play. He said the left tackle pinched, right guy went in, and Ruckert was straight ahead, one guy to block. He said if Brees broke to the right and he blocked to the left, he would have went for 50 yards. Instead, he completely whiffs on the guy, and he goes for a 10-yard gain instead of a 30 or 40-yard major big play. Same thing with Conklin. I like Conklin.
Yeah.
He catches the ball. He's got good yak. He's a serviceable 2 or 3 tight end on any other team. He's not a starter. But, again, whiffing on the block. So this all goes to our wonderful offensive line coach, okay, Keith Carter, who should have been run out of town last year, and we stuck with this bum. And now I don't want to see anybody from the Tennessee coaching staff except Vrabel.
There
I'll
you
take
go.
Vrabel, but thank you very much to anybody else, the GM, the whoever it is. Look, that's a dysfunctional franchise, like we're a dysfunctional franchise. But we have this to hang our hats on for the holidays. We are the best 4-win team I ever saw.
That's it, man.
On paper, we're the best 4-win team in football.
Yes.
I mean, it's unequivocal because we've lost all these games by less than by one score or less.
Yeah.
And it's all purely on coaching.
No doubt.
I mean, when you look at it it's coaching. It's bad clock management. It's not getting these guys motivated because, again, if you say every guy on defense is regressed this year, what do you think you could attribute that to? No discipline, no practices.
Yeah.
Okay, every one of these and that pick 6 yesterday, right in the hands. Ball gets popped. I could have caught that ball.
Of course you could have.
63, I would have caught it, and I would have got tackled at the 10 because somebody would have caught me. But I would have caught that ball without a doubt, and I don't even think he touched it.
Nope. Thanks, Isaiah Oliver. Really appreciate
Isaiah
that.
Oliver,
Yeah.
These guys should be – if I was the defensive coordinator, I'd start every practice by everybody going to the jugs gun on defense and firing missiles at them one after the other after the other. I used to watch – you know who used to really practice?
Who's that?
Jugs guns.
Who's that?
Wasn't it? J.J. Watt. Remember that?
Oh, yes. I forgot about that. Yeah, the Hard Knocks scene. Yeah.
Yes. He used to pride himself on catching jugs gun passes 5 yards away at a full speed.
Yeah.
Maybe our defensive corners take a little lesson from J.J. Watt,
Couldn't hurt.
who obviously never gets a chance to catch the ball on an interception, yet he's practicing it, and our jackass back line can't catch a ball if it's delivered it to them on a silver platter.
Painful.
So that's it. Have a great holiday, guys, and let's go.
There we go. No, go ahead. I love it, Neil. Thank you. Happy holidays, pal. And yes, hit the jugs machine. There's your Christmas present, Isaiah Oliver. Hit the jugs machine, pal. Jesus. I mean, just bing. And I'm like, I got out of my seat like, and then what? And then just hits the ground. And then I just see Isaiah going, what the hell? Pick 6. Disgusting. All right, real quick, Terrence Hill with a gifted membership, baby. Thanks, Terrence. You just gifted a Boy Green Coffee Club membership, and that is for Terrence Hill, his 5th gifted membership, so far this month. Salute to you, Terrence. That's 5 raffle tickets to our contest, baby. Again, all the details in the scrolling ticker down below. We appreciate you, Terrence. Thanks for the support of the show, brother. We'll get back to the phone lines. We've got plenty of people waiting here on the show. I want to double check, make sure I didn't miss any other gifted memberships so far. Any other super chats? Okay, I don't want to fall too far behind. Okay, we're caught up there. Beautiful. Terrence, appreciate you, brother. Salute. There we go. All right, back to the phone lines. Let's go to a cup of Philly noodles here on the show.
What's going on?
Oh, baby.
Oh, man. I mean, there's so many expressions that could be had. First off, just to back on the defensive problems. Anyone remember that? What was that? That Kyron Williams third down run where Sauce hit his knees first. He planted on his knees and then missed and whiffed the tackle. I mean, that right there was that's incumbent for the entire season of why we were like, damn, he got that easy pick, but then he can't even make a tackle.
And man, Sauce had the easy pick in the Minnesota game where it just flew, and it's like, oh, like there's been so many this year that have just been right there for all kinds of people. And it's just,
So my whole thing is the writing is on the wall right now. We're 2 games away from just noticing what had happened.
Okay.
Saleh firing was bad because he obviously is what galvanized the defense and the team to wins, and apparently enough with shitty quarterback play to get to 7-10. So my thing is, with the writing on the wall and us noticing that that's what happened, why would I be willing so this is where everybody's forgetting.
Okay.
We have a new regime coming in.
Correct.
Why in God's name would I want to run? If I'm coming in and compiling all this data, we hired 3013 and I'm posting everything. We're looking at everything. I'm saying, okay, hold on. We had a young head coach, an offensive coordinator combination that got us to 7-10 with shitty quarterback play. We brought in a $50 million Hall of Famer, and he got us to a broken Achilles and then a 4-13 season.
Yeah.
Why would I bring that back?
Yeah.
Why would I bring that back? Why? If I'm ushering new, if I'm saying this is going to be new, I can then say, you know what? Hey, Garrett, we're paying you now. We're getting this over and done with. We're paying you, Brees. We're giving you this contract deal if you want. If not, we're going to franchise tag you a year from now. It is what it is. Like you can't usher in new with taking in old. It's pointless. There's no way I see Woody Johnson saying, you know what? Let's mix the both up. No, the guy clearly fired everybody mid-season so he doesn't have to deal with lingering problems into the offseason. I understand that Aaron Rodgers could be the best option available, but we don't know that until you exhaust the other options.
That's true.
You have to see. And how about this one? I've been saying it in the chat.
All right.
Everybody's all gung-ho. Let's say we all sell ourselves again on AR for another season.
Yep.
The new regime says, we're not doing that. Are we going to hate the new people who just walked in the door? Is that what the Jets fans are going to do? Oh, you know what? You guys suck. You guys suck. You're not keeping AR. I guarantee you half the fan base is going to do that. 100%.
I think it'll depend on what's door number 2. So if everyone, all the fans, right, we go to the end of the season before a new regime started, we all kind of go, let's bring back Aaron Rodgers. That's not bad. And we're like, all right. And then all of a sudden, new regime comes in. Yeah, fuck that. We're moving on. And then we're like, oh, geez. Well,
you guys suck.
Rodgers, hey, new regime, did you see Enigma, the documentary? You sure you're not on Aaron Rodgers? And like, okay. And then they go, hey, what about Tyrod Taylor? Then the fans go, or whatever they say, right? If they go, I'm trying to think, Sam Darnold, right? Sam Darnold. All right, okay. I'm intrigued. Or, hey, Mac Jones. So, like, to me, it's all going to depend because I think you're right. I think, well, I guess we'll see. Ultimately, we got to see how these final 2 games go to see what the fan base, like if I had to get a pie of the fan base, like are they leaning keep Rodgers or leaning not keep Rodgers? Yeah. Is it 50-50? What is it? But I think it's all going to depend on what is door number 2. If they say, fuck Aaron Rodgers, this new regime, I think people are going to be like, all right, fuck him. Then who's the next one? And then they're like, and here, and they do this big reveal, the reveal of the curtain. Shh, and it's, who is it? I think who it is, again, Sam Darnold, I think people go, okay. If it's like Mac Jones or Justin Fields, I'm like, Tyrod Taylor, I don't know. Like, I think that's kind of where we go because we're out of the draft conversation unless a new guy surprises us.
Well, so then, so the next thing I bring up is then, okay, so let's say we do Aaron Rodgers and we go bridge. When was the last time a bridge was rebuilt for such high amounts of money, then broken down the next year? That's a waste of your capital. That's the problem that no one's even understanding. Oh, okay, so he takes a pay cut, but we're still going to have to pay him $25 million. Okay, well, we could have just paid freaking Justin Fields $5 million a year. Yeah, like, and when I bring up Daniel Jones, I'm talking about as like a third option, bringing in as a third guy on the depth chart. So let's say you had Tyrod, Travis, and Daniel Jones. Just in case Travis isn't physically ready, Tyrod gets hurt. Oh, okay, well, Daniel Jones walks in. It's not me when I bring that up. It's not like saying he's the number 1 option, but I think Justin Fields, I think that kid Dylan Gabriel, people are sleeping on if you put him on the team as an insurance, as a 24-year-old quarterback that played in college that's seen the likes of the best college, that had to offer. I mean, Zach Wilson's problem was he didn't see nothing of the SEC. He didn't see any playoff football like that. He saw crap. So that's why we kind of were enamored with the throw that he made. And we're like, that's it. We got to draft him. My thing is you can't keep living on the ghost of JD and what Saleh did. If they're gone and the regime's gone, you cannot be mad. Half the fan base cannot be mad if they say we're moving forward when everyone is sold on AR.
Hey, let me throw this comment out there because Neil put this up. Philly, if a new coach wants to move on from AR, I'm good with it. Will you be good with it if they want him to stay? So new regime comes in, they evaluate, they say, you know what? Fuck it. Let's run it back with Rodgers. What will your take be to that?
My take would be, well, what are you doing on defense then? Because now you're trying to tell me then that if you're an AR fan right now and you want it back, one thing you're saying, including Neil, is the defense fucked up this season then. Okay. So where are you allocating the money that would have been that's paying Devontae Adams? What are you doing with that on defense? Because there's a problem right there. Right there. Yeah. Right off the bat. Where are you allocating that?
Who's going to be then? So first off, we talked about this with Woody. I think it might have been yesterday, or the day before. One of the most underrated questions is obviously this defense. The gasoline is getting into this room, and they are blowing this thing up from a coaching staff standpoint. Obviously, what is it? A 3-4? Is it a 4-3? What does that mean for everybody? Like a corner, okay, Sauce, whatever. That's irrelevant. But like Quinnen, Will, Jermaine. This, that, up, down, left, right. Like, oh, man, there's like an impossible bundle of questions that I'm all of a sudden left with. That, to me, I'm kind of curious about because there's massive ripple effects from even a schematic decision on who's going to be here, who, where, and everywhere.
So that's why it's like, so Vrabel being on the defensive side, you kind of like, okay, you key on. If we bring him in, we get that. First off, I forgot to mention this multiple times.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
Real quick.
Yeah.
Vrabel. The only reason why you want someone like that, and we can't want a rookie head coach, unfortunately, is because when you see the turmoil in this team, who the fuck is going to want to sign with a rookie head coach with this turmoil? You're going to go, I want Vrabel because, hey, I've been in the league 7 years. He's been in the playoffs. I know the guy. He's a great dude, blah, 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 blah. You'd rather sign with them knowing, okay, well, if you guys keep AR, I'll come over.
But I think it depends on reputation, too. So, like, for instance, AG, Aaron Glenn, first-year guy, he's going to be bringing over the Detroit posse, I would imagine. The whole bandwagon's probably coming over from wherever your roots are. Ben Johnson, another Detroit guy. I think the whatever bullshit, the aura around Ben Johnson might be intriguing to people of all this creative play calling and stuff. But some first-year head coaches, to your point, are going to have such a shitty reputation or unknown reputation, which is just as bad, where they're like, ooh, I'm not so sure. Or that, right, the jet tax that everyone talks about. So, there's a lot of questions here, too.
All right. Well, I'll let you go. I know you got callers.
Okay. I appreciate that, Philly. Yeah, passionate. I love it. Okay. Some good commentary. Hey, baby, a.k.a. Devin, DNY for life, baby, gifted a 5-pack of Boy Green Coffee Club memberships. All right, let's give a shout out to these 5 new members to the Boy Green Coffee Club. That is TB. That is James Rouse. Oh, wait, we just had a jump here. Let me make sure I get back to this. All right, James Rouse, Benny Baboon, MJ Dunn, Beth Page Chris. You guys are all now members of the Boy Green Coffee Club. Shout out to Devin for that. Those are 5 more raffle tickets for our guy Devin here on the show, who is now at 20 memberships gifted so far this month. Again, here is the leaderboard. We have Chef Kevin Gilbert, that's a tongue twister, with 37. Number 1 Austrian Jets fan at 37. FL Phil 98 at 30. Fleur Lily and Big D at 30. We have Ed Vargas at 30. And we've got MFC at 24 and DNY for Life, a.k.a. Devin, at 20. So let's keep it rolling, baby. Again, the number 1 gifter will get a custom emoji from Snowball that they can either use for themselves or gift to somebody else. And the person, again, whoever gets picked out of the raffle ticket prize will win that grand prize, and I'll be shipping that out for the new year to you. I'll reach out to you guys separately for whoever ends up winning that one. If you have 1 ticket, you have a chance. You have a shot at it. And obviously, the more you have, the better your chances are. So shout out to Devin, baby. DNY for life. We appreciate you, pal. All right, let's go back to the phone lines here. We got our main squeeze, Ricky, New York, baby.
Hey, how's it going, Paul?
Hey, Ricky, good morning.
Well, B-Mac said, where there's smoke, there's fire, and there's plenty of smoke around here, so here comes the fire.
Ooh, okay.
You know, that was the most disappointing, disgusting game that I've ever seen in my life.
Wow.
The bad coaching that we've had.
Yeah.
You know, it was great when we went for it on fourth down on their end of the field a couple of times and made it. But going for it on fourth, deep in our own territory, I mean, I understand that it's the holiday spirit and all that, but I didn't realize that Jeff Ulbrich was going to give away games for Christmas because he gave this one away.
Yeah, there was a touchdown on that drive. Yeah.
Yes,
For the Rams.
and the other one where they didn't make it resulted in a field goal. I mean, you know.
And we lose by 10. That's 10 points right there.
Yeah. I mean, altogether, they scored 12 points off of our mistakes, and like that's just it's just completely unacceptable. I don't have as much problem with Aaron throwing the ball at Devontae. What I do have a problem is him continuing to throw balls to Alan Lazard when he dropped everything. He's like 1 of 6 yesterday or something.
Yeah,
it was awful. Every time he caught one pass all day long. And I'm thinking Conklin has caught everything you've thrown to him all day long. I mean, there was the 1 4th down play where he went to Conklin that he didn't catch it, but that was just a great play by the DB. That wasn't Conklin's fault.
Sure.
But every other target he had, he brought in. And I don't know, just when you got guys who are catching the ball all day, like why do you keep throwing it to the guy who isn't? You know,
so that's a fair criticism. Long story short of Lazard, I don't blame you for that anger. That's super annoying, and it just keeps happening, which makes it even worse.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, the other thing, and the kicking was atrocious, of course.
Anders.
But the other thing is with Garrett, like I don't think Garrett's as upset with Rodgers as he is with maybe Downing and the play calling that resulted in his lack of targets.
That's fair.
And I mean, and I get it. You know, this coaching staff is obviously going to play like they have nothing to lose, but they do still have something to lose. Games. They can still lose games. And I don't know. It was just a really aggravating thing. And you know what? I'm going to push back on all the Mike Vrabel stuff because I understand that, yes, he's got experience. And, yes, he's like the no-nonsense kind of guy that we're kind of looking for. Mm-hmm. However, do I have confidence in Mike Vrabel to put together a good staff? Not really. His last staff was Todd Downing and Keith Carter, the bums that we're stuck with now. So, no, I don't have confidence in him to put together a good staff. I mean, we've got his last one, and look how we're doing. So, with that, I'm going to double down on my Aaron Glenn take.
Okay, please do.
You know, like Connor Long was saying the other day, he had the guy's exact name. He was like, he'll probably come over and he'll bring Tanner, whatever the guy's name is, the passing game coordinator from Detroit with him to be the OC. And like, you know, good for Connor. He did the homework. He had the name right off the top of his head.
Sure.
But I was like, you know what? And that's the exact kind of move that I was thinking would happen. And so, yeah, I mean, I agree with the no-nonsense coach, but like, yeah, I'm going to push back on the Vrabel thing a little bit because I've had a good look at the kind of staff that he's put together before. So that's all I got, man. Like like I said, we gave that game away.
Yeah.
It pisses me off. And you know what? I don't blame our players for blowing up and being frustrated. I mean, can you imagine being an offensive guy? You're going out there working your ass off, and then you watch the coach go for it, you know, practically in our own red zone and just hand the other team points. Like, that would piss me off too. So,
to be honest, I prefer the pissed off because I'd rather that than complacency of them looking around going, well, all right, well, I guess we're losing another one, or I'm blowing this. To me, the passion's great. Garrett, I used to be told this when I was in football was if the coach is yapping at me, they did all the time, that means they still gave a shit about me. If I was making a mistake or doing this, that, or the other, when they ignore you, and that would happen eventually with certain players on the team, that meant that they had given up on you, like it was over. You were a lost cause. So 100%, I love the fact, and hopefully it resonates with the rest of the team.
Well, yeah, I love the passion from the players. I'm just saying that I can see their frustration with the way that this coaching staff just keeps shooting the team in the foot over and over again. Whether it's the turnover on downs or the clock management, just the overall lack of discipline, it really sucks for Garrett and the guys who really are working their asses off. Because it makes it seem like it's all for nothing. Like, no matter how good they do, this coaching staff is going to find a way to screw it up for them.
Yeah, it feels that way. Ricky, thanks for the call and happy holidays. I would say this, hopefully it's the pitch to the guys, Garrett and everybody else. This coaching staff ain't going to be here much longer. So it's going to get better. It has to get better because it can't get worse. But that's probably not the pitch I would give to him specifically, but you get my point. A new regime's coming over, which should create some excitement and positivity, hopefully. We got a bunch of gifted memberships here. Shout out to Philly Noodles, baby. Okay, a cup of Philly Noodles with a nice gifted membership. Appreciate you. Freddie McKnight, appreciate it. Philly Noodles, that's another membership on your cup there. That is 4 gifted memberships this month, which we appreciate. Thank you kindly for that gifted membership. And look at this, baby. Neil with a 10-pack special. Okie dokie. So let's work in one of these, too. By the way, we need to bring that back. I've said that before. I repeat it. Let's go to all the 10 new members of the Boy Green Coffee Club. Thanks to Neil here, Joe the Jet G, Dre Day, the Jet Fan, Mr. Bonesy, welcome back. Rasta Dread 305, Raziel the Great, Red John, Dominic Luzo, John Woo, Jay Graves, and Boogie Down Dave. You guys are all now members to the Gosh Darn Boy Green Coffee Club. And for Neil Sr., he is now joined in. That is 10 gifted, or 20, total gifted memberships so far this month. He's in the race as well, both for the raffle tickets with 20 raffle tickets and our Boy Green emoji contest, baby. All righty, that's what I'm talking about, baby. What a fun show. And in case you missed it, you may say, Paul, aren't you late to your radio show? It's 9:26 for Pete's sake. Well, the good news is that we have the week off from the radio station, so that could mean a few extra longer Boy Green dailies this week, which we appreciate. Stay tuned to Heavy on Jets, people. I've got a bunch of articles coming out with my new bonus time. I'll be writing some more pieces, so you guys can check that out. Also, of course, we have all our shows. Go check out Jakey, my boy Jake with Joe Beningo. He's live right now, so you guys can go check that out. Make sure you guys like the video, hit subscribe, baby, and we'll be back tomorrow morning for Boy Green Daily on Christmas Eve. Hope you guys get to spend some awesome time with your family, baby, and we'll see you next time. Take care.